Okay, so
Is it saying live now? Okay, that's fine.
does it say I'm live now? Because we were trying to run this. Okay, now we're live. We're building an audience now. We were trying to run this off my laptop, but apparently I can't go live off my
Well,
laptop.
ask them. You can ask them.
Ask
The
whom?
people who are watching right now, because we see them earlier.
Oh,
Hey.
then someone's
Oh,
watching.
now it's showing that someone is watching.
Alright.
But we were trying to run live earlier off my laptop, but it wasn't showing that anyone was watching. It was kind of weird. I don't know if you guys were able to see this. You guys can comment and let me know if I'm out of my mind. Obviously, having tech support was not good. Okay, this one is live, but we were live for about. Thanks, Tommy.
Yeah, I guess you weren't because
We were not live earlier. We were trying. Okay, we were trying earlier through my laptop, but it was not communicating. I guess it wasn't working. I have my laptop here now. My laptop is basically serving as a holder for my phone.
yeah, because Joanna texted, "Hey, Dre's late. Chop chop."
Hey, I was on time. I was on time on my laptop. It is technically my fault that I did not completely test this live thing on my laptop. I thought I did it the other day, but I am wrong. So we are. Okay, now that we're actually on, as opposed to 5 minutes earlier where I was sitting here, well, it got recorded for the podcast, for the audio portion of the podcast. But now we are here at the Nostalgic Books and Comics Podcast Studio, which is Nostalgic Books and Comics, owned by Mr. Pete Molini, my co-host.
How's it going?
And then we actually do have a panel guest here today. We have comic book artist extraordinaire, Enrique Cruz, who's showing us his gangstiness. So
Nice to be here, Dre.
nice to be here, yeah. So tonight's main topic, we're going to be talking about comic books. More specifically, we're going to be talking about the ridiculousness of comic book crossovers, how they've really gotten out of hand over the last few years. And because I've been basically broke for the last year now, I haven't. What?
Power Rangers Justice League.
Louder, so
Power
everyone can hear.
Rangers Justice League.
Power Rangers Justice League. What? I don't even know.
Yeah, that's a thing.
I don't even want to know.
Yeah.
Oh my god. But we're here. We're going to be talking about the ridiculous of comic book crossovers. But we're going to start. Oh yeah. So it's just the three of us today. We are not broadcasting from the secret podcast studios because executive producer Sam Zia became a daddy over the weekend. Holy crap!
Wow, really?
Yes, executive producer Sam Zia, his lovely girlfriend Maria, they had a wonderful baby boy, Joseph Jojo Zia. I forgot the middle name. I should have looked it up right now when we were technically not on, but it was like I remember it was going to be a Dragon Ball Z joke because it's Sam's father's name, but it sounds like a Dragon Ball Z character.
Kakaroto?
No, not that complicated. I was like Majin Buu, like it was like Majin or like something like that. But I was gonna refer to little baby. Yeah, yes, congrats to Sam Maria. So we will not be. We do not have our professional equipment. We have my unprofessional equipment, which I bought this past weekend.
The snowball.
We got a couple of these snowball mics, which were larger than I expected. They're freaking huge. These are because when I saw snowball mic online, I thought it was gonna be like a little tiny snowball, but it's a freaking huge thing. This thing is like a third of my head, and I have a giant head.
Which is kind of the size of a snowball, no?
Yeah.
It's kind of okay. You know, to be fair, I am one of those typical LA people who has never seen snow.
You've never seen snow?
I have never seen snow. Not ever. No, I have not gone up to Big Bear. I'm not a camper.
Oh, okay.
No, I am that much of a nerd. I don't
Dude,
like
in
camping. I don't
45
like.
minutes you can touch snow, dude. All you got to do is you drive more than that elsewhere.
Yeah.
In 45 minutes you can drive up.
But I don't want to touch snow.
Why
It's weird.
You know what? The day you do, let me know.
All right, so we're gonna hit some quick topics because there was some like nerdy stuff that happened that was announced today.
Yep.
We'll go with the most obvious one. Star Wars Episode 8 got its subtitle today. It got its
congratulations.
Yes.
Jedi.
The Last Jedi.
That's very ominous.
Yeah, quite ominous. It's like, is Luke the Last Jedi? Well, I thought he was bringing back the Jedi.
So it deserves a question mark at the end.
The Last Jedi? Question mark.
All right.
It's like, or is Mark Hamill's character Luke Skywalker going to die, and then Rey will be the Last Jedi? We don't know. We have questions.
My money's still on Finn.
Finn?
Finn's a Jedi?
Finn's a Jedi.
I don't think
Oh,
so.
he handled the lightsaber, but no, I don't know. Well, we'll see if he has the Force.
Han handled the lightsaber. Like,
Yeah, but he's a believer.
he opened it to like open up the tap side. What was it?
You make a valid point. Yes, Han Solo handled a lightsaber.
Yeah.
poorly.
Well, he used it to chop open a.
He did use it to chop open a tauntaun. Oh, I thought they smelled bad on the outside. Oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was a big announcement today. I woke up to that. I looked on Twitter. All of a sudden, I'm like, Last Jedi? What the hell? There's a Last Jedi? What? Episode 8. So we're 11 months to go, and we're with that.
Did you notice too that the logo and the title was in red?
Red.
It's
Blood
very,
red. Ominous? Is that the
very
word?
Empire Strikes Back.
Empire Strikes Back. We're doing it live. I'm sorry. For the pod. If anyone's listening to this in the near future, when I was just reacting to the Facebook Live. What's up, Juan Carlos? So, yeah, Star Wars. That was a big thing. And also, I barely noticed that there's a trailer for this new TV show on NBC called Powerless. I was not aware of this.
I'm excited.
You're excited?
I'm excited.
You're excited. Okay.
You know, I like
Mr. Malini. What?
You know what? I'm gonna watch it.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird because this is what I was saving to tell you.
Oh, you're saving it because I asked you about this earlier before we went on.
This might kill the show for you.
Why?
They announced it exists in the Zack Snyder movie universe.
Oh God! I need coffee. Oh, I need coffee now.
So,
it's a
but I don't know how that works though because
So that's been.
There's too many bright colors.
yeah.
There seems to be there's humor and happiness.
Yep.
How can it possibly exist in the Zack Snyder movie verse? That's impossible.
Oh, okay. You know what?
I was not amused at the fact that I love Alan Tudyk.
No.
But
Abed, you got Abed.
we got Abed. But Van Wayne,
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne's cousin. I mean, come on.
You got what?
I mean, you couldn't have gone like, Ted Kord or Ted Kord's dad. Couldn't have gone, another freaking inventor or some other CEO of business. No, we gotta have to have cheesy, super. I'm Van Wayne. I'm Bruce Wayne's cousin. Look, I texted him. Look, like it was the amount of cheese. I mean, and now that you've told me that it's set in the Zack Snyder movieverse, it kind of explains the cheesiness and the awfulness, like the ugly feeling I got when I was watching the trailer. I was like, I don't know about this.
Well, it's just weird. Like I don't see like Suicide Squad fits in that universe.
Yeah.
And this one, like I don't get it. Like it's a comedy, right?
You know what? Considering the cast, I'm excited that everyone is getting a paycheck.
Oh no, that's good. I'm glad Tudyk and Abed and whomever. I've only watched it.
What was it
once.
Vanessa Hudgens?
Is that Vanessa Hudgens?
Yeah.
Who's the main girl who got freaking like is it a bird? Is it a plane? What? You can't tell the difference between a bird and a plane?
That's kind of funny.
that was a good little one-liner. That was. I'm just completely thrown off. I'm like this weird half-hour situational comedy on NBC is a part of this DC universe.
Well, you know what I think it is because they always talk about how Marvel tries to one-up DC in movies and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
When Edgar Wright was working on Ant-Man, he had mentioned that he had pitched to Marvel to do these like short 30-minute damage control shorts for the Blu-rays. And then Edgar Wright left, so they killed that idea. I kind of feel like this is what this is.
Mike Lee on Facebook says on NBC it will get canceled. Yeah. It's totally gonna.
Are they gonna move over or something?
No,
they can't. They can't move it over to WB because it's in the Snyder movie verse.
No.
Or it could be part of 52 Dimensions. And, Flash can accidentally run through it and be like, "What the fuck is going on here?" And see Ezra Miller. They'll look at each other and they're like, "Yep, this isn't happening."
But then, you never know, man, because I saw that show Superstore last year, and I thought, like, well, this is going to get canceled.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. And
it's a new season.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you drive through Burbank, if you drive through Burbank over off of Olive, you can actually see the fake Walmart Cloud 9. It's right around where,
Fries?
No, not by Fry's. It's just a little bit where Hogwarts Castle is. You're just a little bit further south. Right there, right by
okay.
By the Warner Brothers Studios, well, literally, and then the Universal Studios are
Universal.
LOL. Behind the cemetery in that little area. Yeah, like right around there. If you drive by, like on Olive Avenue, going up into Barham, you'll see Cloud. You'll see the fake the facade when they do their outdoor shots.
Yeah.
Because they didn't take over a Walmart, they just kind of made their own.
Made the front of a Walmart.
They made the front of a Walmart.
Yeah. So I'm saying, like, I don't know, man, because like that show, I didn't think that was gonna last, and
You never know, right? You know, if you had told me Parks and Rec was going to become one of my favorite shows off that first season, I would have said like, no, I did not enjoy Parks and Rec the first season, but it became one of my favorite shows because Ron Swanson, and they made the rest of the cast
because character development.
Character development. Thank you.
Did you see the trailer for Powerless with Starro?
No.
Yeah, there's a trailer where you see a Starro in the background like blow the fuck up. It's fucking hilarious. That, for a comic book nerd, that's a great little like hidden highlight. That's a hidden highlight. So and the last quick topic I'm gonna hit on. No, I'm not gonna hit on it for very long, but this Sunday WWE is having their Royal Rumble, so I'm bringing this up because I might do a live stream of me and my friends who are gonna come over and watch the event. And what also might happen, I might be doing it drunk. So.
And an Ultimate Warrior fatigue.
No, I won't. No, I am not a cosplayer, sir. No, I am not a cosplayer.
It's like being what's it called? A very excited sports fan.
But I'm not. Even with my Chargers, the most I've ever did was put on a jersey. No, I never painted a lightning bolt on my face.
Oh, I think it's a missed opportunity.
But yeah, during the Royal Rumble this Sunday, there might be a live stream, of me and my friends watching the show. And as my best friend Jai Palder can attest to, me watching wrestling drunk can be quite amusing. As many years ago, WrestleMania 25, I watched it hammered, and I said the most ridiculous things. So it might be fun, even if you're not a wrestling fan. So that covers our quick topics right here. So we're going to jump into our main topic here, comic book crossover. Specifically, I mean, it's really more. I'm mad at Marvel. They're making a lot of this is just the comic book universe. The movie universe is obviously a separate entity.
Yeah.
They have their own issues. I mean, there's a lot of good things going on, in my opinion, in the movie universe. Some people might say otherwise. But as far as the comic books go, they are floundering right now.
Yeah,
it's hard.
You are the proprietor of a comic shop, so I'm going to be leaning on you. On Facebook, Juan Carlos just said, Dre drunk is like Jackie Chan in Drunken Master. And sad but true. But okay, but I'm going to be leaning on you because, especially since I haven't really been buying a lot of books in the last year. I've bought a handful of comic books, and mainly from you.
Yeah.
But don't hand me comic books.
Now look at the titles.
Oh, okay. So this is perfect for the Facebook Live. Tarzan on the Planet of the Apes. What in the blue blazes is this? Actually, this actually kind of makes sense because he was a character on the Army of Darkness Xena. This actually kind of makes a little bit of sense.
Yeah.
But this is more crossover. This is more like company crossovers trying to make money. I'm talking about like when Marvel does a big event to try to get people to buy more comics. Or like this past year, they've done this thing. Civil War 2. I feel like they were trying to capitalize on the movie this past year in the 2016. I keep forgetting we're in 2017 now. But Marvel, for the last 8-9 months, they've been doing this Civil War 2, where they've gone back to the well that is empty. They're like, hey, you know what? That original Civil War event was pretty successful back in what was that, like 05, 06?
Yeah. It's been.
Because I remember getting into a physical argument at one of the LA Wizard Worlds with.
Wait, physical? Like.
No, you guys weren't there. Paul Jenkins stomped on me. We took photos where Paul Jenkins was stomping on me.
That deserves to be in the podcast.
I pissed off. I pissed off many people. Like my good friend DC Publisher Dendidio, who technically could watch this because I'm Facebook friends with him. He's probably not going to watch this, but he could. He could watch this and see. It's that guy from San Diego who did my impression of me to his face.
Is this the first Dandidio into the show?
This is the first Dandidio impression on the show. But I'm sorry, I'm cutting you off because Dre loves tangents.
No, but I think it's like Marvel. It's become their thing. It's like they have an event, and then they restart all the books because it's a result of the event.
To spur sales, so all of a sudden there's all these brand new #1 issues of comic books. Where like, oh wait, you need to buy these now because it says #1 on them.
Yeah, and
give us all your money.
That's the whole thing. Is that I think it's just this weird phenomenon of I think younger people they like number ones.
You would know this because
Yeah.
you run this comic shop, and so
Yeah.
you see this wide array of comic book people.
And it's bad though because what ends up happening is they're like, oh, Spider-Man #1, and you start reading it, you're like, what is going on?
There's-
because it's not a real #1. It's just
It's a facade.
yeah, it's like, oh, we're gonna be dealing with this event you don't know about, and we're gonna be dealing with years of Spider-Man stuff that we've been working on. And it's just a jumping on point, but even then it doesn't.
Because they used to do that where like on the front of the cover it would say this is part 1 of 6
Yeah.
if you're going to be reading the story. But now what Marvel is literally doing now, what you're telling me, is that they'll just restart the book and say fuck it,
Yeah.
this is Avengers #1, but in reality it's Avengers 565. But here's a 6-part story of the
Yeah.
Avengers save a kitten from a tree.
Yeah.
So you're telling me there's never going to be a 100 issue?
Not at Marvel. I don't.
At Marvel, yeah,
Yeah.
that seems to be the case.
DC maybe. We might get there. I mean,
Because yeah, Superman had 500 issues.
Oh, but
episodes,
they-
and then
yeah, but they fixed that with Rebirth, like Action Comics and Detective
I noticed that last week when I was
Yeah.
here, like, because DC had been doing some. Well, DC, what 5.5 years ago now?
Yeah.
It was 5.5 years ago where they just kind of hit the reset button to try to cause people to buy the books.
Yeah.
Yeah, the new 52.
52, yeah.
Kind of they blew up their universe to try to make it easier for new people to read it.
Yeah, and it
But
worked for the most part.
It worked for the first 6 months, right?
No, it worked. It worked
years
for.
ago or more, wasn't it?
No, it was about like 5. It was. Yeah.
'Cause I
Yeah,
was-
5 because 12 times 5 is 48.
Oh, because I was still drawing for the other website then. That was like 8 years ago.
No, it was
No. 12 issues a year, sometimes 13.
Sometimes 13.
Sometimes 13. So roughly 48-ish. That's like about
Yeah.
4 or 5 years.
Yeah,
Okay.
but yeah, with them, see, that's the thing that drives you crazy about freaking hardcore Marvel fans. Mm-hmm. They'll constantly when Rebirth happened. See, when Rebirth happened, everyone was like, "Oh, there goes DC rebooting again," and it's like, wait, but Marvel does it every.
Yeah, it's a bit hypocritical because,
Yeah.
Marvel does it quietly all the time.
all the time.
I mean, one of my favorite characters, Iron Man, he's like, they kind of rebooted him. Like, he was a villain. He was
Yeah.
a villain a year or so ago. Where
Yeah, with the-
he was in a suit that looked like a giant white iPod.
Yeah.
I don't know, like the year before that, it's like, oh, Tony Stark's parents. Oh, those aren't his parents. His parents were somebody else.
Yeah.
They used alien DNA to save his life. I'm like, what in the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
This is Tony Stark. He's supposed to
Yeah.
be billionaire, playboy, funny man. Like, apparently, aliens fixed him.
Yeah.
And his real parents are, who
Hey,
knows?
he was a drunk at one point too.
I said it with a straight. Oh, okay. Darren Fong caught me on my bad math. 12 times 5, 48. Yeah, totally, right? The beauty of Facebook Live is people can correct me in real time. The corrections department is right there. Damn it.
Damn it. But
Fail at life.
Darren Fong, I like you.
but yeah, it's just like I don't know. It's just like that's what the Marvel events are for, though. It's the reset things.
To reset things, because the last Marvel event that I have to say that the last Marvel event I enjoyed was Infinity, and
Yeah.
and I'm not sure how long ago that was now.
Well, see, the funny thing about Infinity was
That was didn't that set up Secret War?
yeah, that set up Secret
The Secret
War.
Wars. Oh, sorry, Secret Wars.
Yeah, with an S. There you go.
Plural, not Secret War. What Brendis did, or what happened in the '80s when
With the
whatever, not Beyonder.
Yeah.
But
yeah, and the funny thing about Infinity though was it was really good. Wasn't that successful? Like not too many people because you could tell not too many people read Infinity because there's stuff in Secret Wars
that references
it
back
references
to that story.
Yeah, and they were like, I don't understand what's going on, and yeah,
Yeah, I bring up Infinity because this past weekend I was organizing the books that I actually do have, and I actually went back and read the last 4 or 5 issues of Infinity.
Yeah.
And I was noticing, I'm like, oh wait, that whole planet thing didn't get resolved, and I did not buy Secret Wars because that was around the time I became unemployed.
Yeah.
So comic books left the budget, but I guess they kind of, I think from what you told me, they kind of resolved that whole crazy Hickman story.
Yeah.
In the Secret Wars, where all the universes were crashing into each other, and now we have one unified universe under Doom, and this is really complicated for people who aren't in comic books. I realize, and I'm sorry, but we got to get this off my chest.
No, well, the funny thing about Secret Wars is that it closed the loop on everything Hickman did in Marvel. Like so,
okay.
Go into the Ultimate stuff he did and the Fantastic Four, Future Foundation. Zombies were there.
Yeah, but this kind of leads back to my original point. It's like these giant events.
Yeah.
I feel it makes it more difficult for a person who, like, let's say people like a non-comic book person who enjoys the movies or the TV shows or the Netflix shows and wants, I want to get involved. I want to get involved in these comic books, and then they stare across this wall of, you know. Since I can do this, they stare across this wall right here of like insanity, and they're like, well, I don't know where to begin. What do I do?
Yeah.
And I think there's that giant barrier of entry.
Yeah.
For a new person. So you have a bunch of people like ourselves, us three here, where we've been. This is what we've always done.
Yeah.
Like we kind of like jumped in the water at some point,
and
we've just rode along the whole time.
But you know what? What the movies have done, they gave us a nice basis, a nice, you know.
Yeah.
You understand where each character is coming from?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, because I never got into Thor, and after I saw that movie, I'm like, oh, he's kind of cool. Like, you know,
the character can make sense.
Yeah.
But you're not gonna go back and read those old Thor books because
I was a big Thunderstrike guy, man.
You were a Thunderstrike guy. For those who don't read comic books, it was just like this in the '90s. Comics were really bad.
'90s character though, man. Like,
he had a ponytail and the earring, and like he was the cool Thor. It's like, you know what? Thor isn't cool. You know, he's always speaking and
he was the Lorenzo Lamas of Thor.
Yeah, because he had the
damn it.
He had the sleeveless jacket, right? He had the denim vest.
He was denim. He had the Canadian tuxedo.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it was so bad. My god, but yeah, like the '90s were. Oh god, and that's the worst part. That's when we started.
Yeah.
We started when comics were at their like.
But see,
literal worst.
Here's the thing, though. Like I think,
but they made more sense back then. That's the weird thing.
Yeah.
The books made more sense back then. I got in the '90s Justice League.
Maybe it's because we weren't taking them as seriously as we take them now.
That's true.
You know, like.
That's a good point.
You know, because I kind of feel
the analysis nowadays, like we freaking read too much into it now. We're old bitter nerds, and I'm sitting here bitching about comic book crossovers.
Yeah. When I started, I would go dollar bin, 50-cent bin,
grab
random stuff, and just read that.
That's how I got into Justice League.
Oh, see?
It was freaking East LA College. Like one Sunday a month would have those
swap meet.
The swap meet.
Yeah.
And there was a dude with a whole bunch of long boxes, and my dad he gave me like $10. He's like, all right, it was 50 cents each. He gave me $10. He's like, go to town. I'm like, fuck yeah, that's like 50 cents a pop, $10. I'm getting 20 comics.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. I'm like digging through it, and I'm like, and for whatever, I remember exactly which comic book it was, where it was an issue of Justice League America, and for the weirdest thing, it was Martian Manhunter sitting and looking at a freaking sunset, and it was the middle of this giant crossover, and I was like, forever, I'm like, oh,
that's
I don't know why. And that was around the time where I became a fan of that character, Martian Manhunter. For those of you who watch, he's a character on Supergirl now.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
This obscure kind of like this weird well back then I did whatever pre-internet I had to go do I went and did research on the Justice League, and I found trading cards, magazines, almanacs.
Oh, what are they called? The A to Z.
The who's who?
Who's who? There you go.
DC who's who? Like pre-internet. I did my research and I found out this character who I'm like, oh, this dude, who's this guy watching reading this? I grabbed that, and then there's a whole bunch of other Justice League books in there. So I grabbed all the Justice League America books, and all right, boom, took 10 of them home. I remember we drove somewhere, and it was like some shoe store. My mom went in there, and can I stay in the car? I want to read my comics. I sat in the car and I read my comic books, and I was like, what the hell's going on in this book? and so the following time at the swap meet, I went back, wanting to find more.
Yeah,
I had to find the Justice League Europe because it was in the middle of this big. In the middle of a crossover between the two fucking books. Fuck my life. And I had to and then it became my nerd quest from that was 6th or 7th grade onto it took me 8-9 years, and I tracked down every single issue of that run of Justice League. And then pre-internet. This was
Yeah.
before,
Before
nowadays you just freaking, all right,
eBay
or freaking buy them digitally. Like, fuck it, I'll just go to Comixology and buy them all digitally.
Yeah.
Like, back then, I did it the hard way. It's like we always joke, like, the nerds say it. They didn't earn it like we earned it.
We did it, man.
The nerds today don't earn it. Like, we had to earn that shit. If I wanted to read that complete series, I had to go to freaking...
You gotta go to the hunt, man.
I had to, God, it was like... I had to get, when I got my driver's license, that was like the biggest hurdle I overcame. I'm like, okay, now I can go to every comic shop. Before, I was always like begging my dad to take me, oh, can we go to this comic shop over there? Or like later on, it was like, oh, going to comic conventions.
Like, you're telling me you didn't bus it to Frankincense?
I never did.
2 hours in a fucking bus?
2 hours? From East Los to freaking, to Walnut? For fuck's sake, I didn't know how long.
You ever rode the train to Frankincense?
Good, man. You wanted it more than I did.
Yeah.
Well, also, my mom was very sheltered. She sheltered me. She wouldn't have let me leave the house to
She
take
wouldn't
a
let
train.
you ride a train.
No. She would not have let me go off on my own like that. Like, oh, I'll be back in 6 hours, Mom.
6 hours, that's true.
I'm going to take 2 hours to take the bus out to freaking Frankenstein's, 2 hours there and then 2 hours back. I might get kidnapped.
You know what? I used to go like with a backpack that was empty and then come back with a backpack.
Come back with a full backpack. No, because I used to have to beg like my high school friends to take me, like some of the other nerds who started driving.
Oh.
But back then it was like I had to they were like some of them were playing Magic, so Magic Gathering, so they wanted to drive out for Magic cards. I'm like, oh, I want to drive out for comic books. I'm the weirdo.
Yeah, exactly.
But then, yeah, when I finally got my card, then it was like, oh, as soon as I was able to drive, oh, comic conventions and all the comic. Oh, there's so many comic shops in Pasadena. Oh shit! I started when I was going to PCC. Oh. And the weird thing I found out was like when I talked to the clerks at the two Pasadena stores specifically, like Comic Factory, and it was the old Comic Odyssey from back when it was inside the old Pasadena Mall.
The mall, yeah.
And those clerks also had all those issues. Like they knew my quest. It was weird. Like they had all those issues of Justice League, the funny Justice League from the '90s.
Yeah.
They had all those books.
And
I was like,
there, so they got uneasy.
Well, no, you don't get my point.
They were on the same quest?
No, they had gone, they had undertaken that quest already. And I was on my quest as a comic book clerk because I worked at a comic shop. And it gave me some weird validation. I'm like, oh my God, I'm following their lead. I'm like, I'm doing what the other clerks before me have done. I'm on this weird, crazy quest.
Yeah.
And the worst part was, I remember I bought the last issue. It was some obscure issue that was underprinted. And I had to pay $10 for it. When like the majority of all those books, I paid like 50 cents or $1 or a quarter at most.
Yeah.
It's just to finish it. I think
Just to finish, I remember paying $10, and my girlfriend at the time, she's like, "You're really gonna pay $10 for like comic book?" Because this was like 2001, 2002. So like, you're gonna pay that much?
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, I'm gonna pay those $10 fucking dollars. I'm gonna end this. I'm gonna end the quest. I've done it.
You don't understand.
But that always happens, right? Especially back then, like I remember, was it Return of Superman? Mm-hmm. There was that one issue of Green Lantern you had to get.
Oh,
and then like
Green Lantern 46.
Yeah, everyone had it for like $10. And it was just like.
Is it weird? I knew the exact issue. Yeah. I'm I'm a '90s Rain Man.
Nice.
It's like I remember that. Oh yeah, Green Lantern 46. Yeah. It was a pain in the ass to find.
Oh, and was it the Justice League issue for Death of Superman? That was another one that was a pain in the ass to get. Like.
Justice League 75. I'm slightly embarrassed because I'm broadcasting this. Normally, if I'm just in the shop, oh yeah, I'm the know-it-all. But now I'm like,
but see, you think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Death of Superman is probably like the biggest event
that was okay. That was the, you know what? Thank you for steering my tangent back. Where you took the wheel and brought us back to where we were supposed to be. Crossovers.
But
that was probably the most successful.
It wasn't a crossover though.
Because that's how the books were. Well, that's how the Superman books were structured, right?
It was a long story.
Yeah, but it was only in the Superman books.
Also, the Justice League books.
No, it was only one Justice League book. Because remember,
Dan Jurgens wrote that one.
That's the only reason why it crossed over.
Because Dan Jurgens, the writer and artist who killed Superman, that's what he's famous for within the comic book world.
I saw a documentary about it, and they were saying how nobody wanted to interrupt their books for that because they thought this is stupid. Like they
Doomsday.
Yeah, and so if you think about it now, if they would do that now, how big would that event be? Like, how many books would cross over into that?
Fuck,
book?
if the death of Superman happened today, it'd be like 50 books is how you know it.
Didn't he already die again, like, recently?
Yeah, nobody cared.
Nobody. They killed the Superman with the weird belt.
Yeah, they killed the Superman that nobody liked.
Oh, okay.
No one liked that asshole Superman.
Yeah.
We brought back that Superman that we talked about from. Fuck, man, that's like what 24 years ago now.
Yeah.
Or no, is that
Well, he's the original Superman.
It's the original. It's the Dan Jurgens Superman.
Yeah.
It's the Superman from the original universe, the one that died and
Here's
came
the
back.
thing, back then you only had really one Superman. Now you have thousands of them running around.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, but it's
Back then the Elseworld didn't count.
They didn't count, but now now they do it.
Now it
It's
does.
so complicated. I feel, I really do feel bad for someone trying to get into this nowadays.
It's complicated. It's always been complicated, but it's just like
It like I said, that's how we got off into the tangent of me talking about me buying books back then. It was like it didn't seem as difficult back then to get into a comic book. I remember I buy a random issue of Spider-Man. I remember like he's fighting the tarantula. I don't know what's happening, but oh shit, he's stuck on a boat.
Yeah. Well, remember back then too? They used to have those things when you'd open the book and it would fold out and it would tell you like previously. And it would,
No, I'm talking like the 80s, man.
Oh, really? They never had those. I remember those.
No, dude.
Like,
There was the only thing the only thing that they did back in the 80s and into the early 90s was they had those little boxes that says C
C issue whatever.
C issue whatever of Iron, go to issue of whatever of Iron Fist to go see what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Like there'd be those little editor's notes.
Yeah.
And then I forgot who was it that killed text boxes? Was it Bendis?
Yeah, I think so.
Was it Bendis? Bendis killed the thought bubble.
Yeah.
Like, there's no more thought bubbles.
Wow.
The thought bubbles are gone now.
Yeah.
Huh? There's no such thing as a thought bubble.
No, man.
It's all in little boxes.
It's all just if there's any internal dialogue, it's a box. I don't know. It's just the
It's
comic
changed
book.
a lot, man. It really,
Comic books have changed a lot, man.
yeah, because
Everything used to follow the pattern. Like I forgot who was pointing out to the other. Like, oh yeah, there used to be 4 panels or 2 panels or 6 panels. So we were talking about Image.
Oh.
And how like the guy
Splash page.
or the original Image guys from the 90s like my entire book is freaking 20 splash pages, so I only do 20 drawings, fuck everything, I'm lazy.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck details, let's just put the character with just a black background. I don't want to draw buildings.
Yeah. He's got a giant gun, or he's got
a giant gun
And the cape span like 6 pages.
the giant cape, because fuck backgrounds, fuck details, I'm gonna just draw lines.
There's a video that's been floating around on
Todd
YouTube.
McFarlane, exactly. Thank you, Jai.
There's a video floating around on YouTube. I don't know if you ever saw these. I had them. There were these VHS. It was like Excelsior Entertainment, right?
What?
And these were the weirdest things. So it was Stan Lee sitting at a drawing table, and then he would interview an artist, and he would just talk about nonsense, and then he's like, "All right, I'll draw something for me," right? And
oh god.
But there's a real famous one that's been floating around where it was Stan Lee with Jim Lee, McFarlane, and Liefeld.
Okay, was this pre or post?
Pre-image, like right
Pre-image.
like a year before that.
You know what you young men should do? You should strike out on your own. Copy everything you see. That's what I did to Kirby and Ditko.
And but there's some stuff when you hear what they're talking about, and you think about what actually happened. You're like, oh shit! Like was it?
When Stanley enabled him into leaving?
No, he didn't enable it, but they just kind of you could tell oh they didn't care. Like freaking McFarlane. At one point, this is the weirdest thing. He has the 3 of them draw one character, at the same time. They're all working on one character.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
And
Rob Liefeld?
Yeah, often.
No.
Did they get the feet?
Yeah. And so at one point, McFarlane's he's like, oh, my rule of thumb when it comes to drawing is when in doubt, black it out.
Wow, straight up.
Fucking A. Here I am trying to learn freaking art, and you hear one of the most successful artists of all time is a lazy fuck.
And then my favorite though is he's drawing, and then Stan asks Liefeld, he's like, "Are you gonna put any pouches on him?" And he's like, and he says, "Oh, I guess I could do that." He goes, "Whoa!" And Stan says, he goes, "A Liefeld character without pouches is naked."
For fuck's sake. I mean, for the non-comic book people, that's a fucking ridiculous fucking statement. Oh my
So they
god.
knew back then what they were doing. They were trying to hide it.
Oh my god.
Are you sure
The
it's not
most
like
successful
CGI?
artists of all
I
time.
had those VHS. I gotta find them.
I bet someone has them on YouTube.
Yeah, no, they're all on YouTube now.
Oh, I bet I can freaking Google search,
Yeah. But
Stanley Excelsior.
but
Stanley LMD. Oh.
so yeah, so like I think that's the problem with Image was like they knew what they were doing. They were just screwing around. Like the famous was it X-Force? The one that was like
Negative space, not laziness. Well, okay, Johnny, on Facebook Live right now, Johnny Guerra said negative space, not laziness. That could be true.
Yeah.
That could be true. Well, I'm being a little negative because I do have a bias against McFarlane and Liefeld. I still hold Jim Lee up to this
Negative space. More like dark matter.
dark matter.
We don't know what it is, but it's there.
But go on. We got interrupted, or I interrupted us.
I don't remember what I was gonna say, but yeah, we were talking about earlier about how like maybe we're like analyzing it too much now.
Yeah, we probably are. Just what we were doing right now. I was analyzing the shit out of these 90s artists.
But like I think back like when I was a kid and they did DC versus Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Like on paper, that sounds like the most ridiculous thing ever. But I remember loving that, and it was just fun. Like
Yeah. Because it was Hulk fighting Superman.
Yeah.
It was Batman, Captain America, Storm versus Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Spider-Man versus Superboy.
Superboy, yeah.
Which I always thought that was very weird, but I guess there really isn't a Spider-Man analog in the DC universe.
No.
And then I feel like I'm leaving one out because there were 5 of them. There's 5.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Or did I say 5 of them? I'm not even paying attention to what I'm saying, which is totally possible.
But that was the
Because those were the big fight. Oh, those were the big fights. Oh no, it was Wolverine versus Lobo.
Yeah, there you go.
Because I remember we could vote.
Yeah.
Back in the old days, we could vote. We could vote on who was going to win, and then they decided Batman versus Cap wasn't it a tie?
Yeah.
Or it was some BS, and I remember there was a BS ending where they got flooded. No, they got flooded.
No, yeah. Oh, yeah, the sewer.
Yeah.
No, but I remember like they did that shit again.
Or JLA versus the Avengers.
When they just looked at each other and they're like, we're equally matched.
Yeah.
Like
they did a cop out. That was a cop out where like
we're equally matched. Let's just watch the fight. Like
it was we need to figure out who put us against each other because that was the big JLA versus another crossover. That was a big prestige.
George Perez.
The George Perez drawn.
Kurt Busiek.
Did Kurt Busiek write
Yeah.
that? Oh, okay.
Wow.
That big giant George Perez, because that was a project that had been sitting on for back then. It was like 15 years. He had drawn a bunch of pages and no one could agree. And then there was one at some point. They're like, "Hey, we both need money. You know what everybody really wants? JLA vs. Avengers." Because I think that book happened after DC versus Marvel.
Yeah, that happened way later.
Happened way later.
We
Because that was like
young still.
that was like a Bronze Age Comic Galaxy. Because DC versus Marvel happened during Silver Age Comic Galaxy, which is a conversation you guys probably didn't hear because that didn't get posted. Because that was when we practiced the second podcast, with the comic shop that we all worked at.
But yeah, because that happened recently. I want to say that happened like the last 10 years.
What, JLA?
Yeah.
No, that didn't happen the last 10 years.
What?
No, it didn't. I was still working at the store.
Yeah,
When
it took forever to come out.
Remember the last issue took like a year or something to come out?
That's true.
It's
But
like
no, it's been so long since I've worked at. It's been more than 10 years since I worked at the store.
I said the same thing. I said 8 earlier and then became 5. So I don't know. Time paradoxes are.
As he does a quick Google search because the best thing on the podcast is dead air.
2003.
That is freaking 13 years, sir.
And it ended in 2004.
That is
12 years.
12 years.
Yeah, it's close.
That's not close to 10.
Yes, it is. 2 away from 10.
But that's not less than 10. That is more than 10.
I said about.
I was still working at the store. I was not still working at the store in 03 and 04.
That's still fairly recent compared to
I
Marvel.
was working at GameStop.
That's still fairly recent compared to Marvel versus DC, though.
Marvel vs. DC was further back.
Yeah, I was
no,
like-
but that's not fairly recent.
It's fairly recent.
You mean a third of your life ago was fairly recent?
Yeah, like I'm not saying like my,
A third of your life ago
Yeah.
was fairly recent.
Hey, you know what? A third of my life ago, I had some really good times.
I'm just saying, man. It's not that. It wasn't that long ago.
That was all. God damn it. Let me look at the time here, since we're just spiraling out of control here.
You can't tell the 1996 for DC versus Marvel. So yeah, that was when you were working at the shop. What? You were working at the shop?
I was working at the shop, but you guys were not. You guys were customers.
Yeah, I was.
At 96, I was a customer.
I think I was.
96, I was a high school senior.
Really?
I didn't start going there till like 98, actually. 98, 99.
You were stealing comics from Silver Age Comic Galaxy.
I was saying these comics from everywhere.
Yeah, because I was thinking. Yeah, because I remember when Marvel vs. DC happened. Because I remember going to the mall.
You went to the mall?
And they had Suncoast videos.
Suncoast Video. Oh, jeez.
And they had shirts. It was like, pick a side. There was like a Marvel one and a DC one. And I was like tripping out because I was like, this is the first time like a comic event. Like people cared about a comic
People cared about a comic event.
You know?
I remember tripping out. It was like however many years ago was it with JLA versus X-Men. Well, not JLA. X-Men versus Avengers.
Oh.
No. The AVX. Avengers versus X-Men.
Oh, yeah.
I remember hearing commercials for it on the radio.
Yeah.
And I was like, they're promoting comic books on
They were doing it in the theaters too.
Yeah, they were.
Show like
I was like, oh wow, comics really did hit the main. Were like, well, even though most people would consider radio dead now, but it's still very main. That's a very mainstream for a quote unquote fringe hobby.
Yeah.
For like the comic, yeah, obviously the movies are a big deal, but like for the comic books to get publicity like that, I was like tripping. I remember I was driving. And it was like a sports radio station. I'm like, what is happening?
Well, like
4 years, almost 5 years ago, AVX 2012. Yeah. I was like, they're playing commercials like in the movie theaters and on the radio, and like I half expected to turn on the TV and see a commercial for AVX.
What's it called? I saw a commercial on for
Rebirth.
Yeah,
There were TV commercials for Rebirth. I was tripping balls. I thought I was high.
Yeah.
Was it on Cartoon Network or?
I think it was. Yeah, it was all the Warner Brothers networks.
Because obviously DC owns. Yeah. Well, Warner Brothers owns DC.
Yeah, because I think I was watching Conan and they showed
on CBS.
CBS, yeah.
There's a Rebirth.
Yeah, and they had like the art. It was moving around. You know?
Yeah, they were doing like I remember when motion comics were really popular for a while. Yeah, it's like so to try to turn into that subject as a comic book shop owner, did that stuff actually Rebirth being on TV? Do you feel like that helped you as a store owner, as a person who sells comic books?
I mean, I don't know about it was the commercials, but I think it's like Rebirth itself we did get a big boost. I think it was because it was a true jumping on point, and not only brought in like new people, but it brought people that hadn't there was a big
people who hadn't bought DC Comics in 5 years.
Because there was a big negative response to New 52, and it's just like I don't know what it was about Rebirth that got people excited about it again. You know?
Oh, I'll tell you. Well, as a DC fan, it was they're bringing back. Me on a personal level, the fact they brought back my favorite Flash, Wally West, that was kind of a big deal for me as a DC fan. I'm like, that was.
You like his costume?
I don't like his costume, but the fact he exists again for the first time in 5 years. Because he had been erased from history.
And I like that they acknowledged it too. Like he's like, I've been missing this whole time, and and
so I have no mystery to solve.
Yeah,
I know.
No, but that's the thing.
Because we need to watch The Watchmen, apparently.
Yeah. See, they're finally picking up steam on that.
I saw some of the images online where they're showing Batman and Barry holding the Watchmen badge because apparently they're going to tie. I'm sure Alan Moore will be throwing things in his castle.
That guy's probably high right now, so it doesn't even matter, dude.
I know, but I feel he still gets mad at some point where like when they take
when he runs out of drugs.
When he runs out of drugs, I'm sure he gets mad. Like they take his creation, The Watchmen, which was not intended to become a universe. It was just basically here. This is my treatment on DC characters: fucking each other and doing drugs and fucking the world. And it's like, oh, You're expanding upon this? What the hell are you doing? This is supposed to be me just having fun with your dumb characters.
Well, that's Alan Moore though. Like, he doesn't like anything. He works on it to get messed with.
I will never forget my favorite thing was on The Simpsons when like Alan Moore was on The Simpsons, and then they Watchmen babies. I laughed so hard.
He reads little Lulu comics to calm down.
It's like that was insane. I was just like, Alan Moore's on The Simpsons.
Yeah.
And they're making fun of all of him, like how all of his creations are bastardized.
That was the best. It was Watchmen babies. V for vacation.
V for vacation. Fuck, I forgot about that. V for vacation.
That's Millhouse's favorite book.
Yeah.
Fuck. Oh my god.
But yeah, I mean, like, but do you think it's a bad thing tying the Watchmen into?
I think it's kind of, well, as a crotchety old comic book man now, it's kind of weird to me. It's like you're putting, I guess this is not, in my mind, it's not chocolate and peanut butter. This is like
Nutella.
chocolate and steak.
Oh,
It's
that different. Wow.
These are like, because the Watchmen, this is such an extreme story.
Yeah.
I actually had a conversation about Watchmen on an Uber drive the other day.
But are you one of those people that holds it up to where don't fuck with it because it's
Kind
perfect?
of. I in my mind, it was kind of always self-contained. As a person who, like, that book is like my Catcher in the Rye. I own like 4 or 5 copies of it.
Dang.
But there's never been like any questions of like oh yo, you never.
What's the question? The freaking Ozymandias, freaking the best villain ever. Oh, I wasn't freaking monologuing. I executed it 30 minutes ago before you got here. Best supervillain ever.
Yeah, no.
He did the opposite of every bad supervillain. He actually did what he was gonna do. Then he told the dumb heroes, "Ha, I already did it. Fuck you." Best supervillain. Like all these other dumb supervillains, I haven't done it yet. Ha!
Yeah.
There's still an opportunity to stop me. Like, you stupid Bond villains. What the fuck? The Joker, like, I'll just tie you up. Let's see what happens.
No, I mean like when they did that before watching.
He brought world peace.
They did, yeah.
It was like he was the villain that succeeded.
Yeah.
And Dr. Man went along with it, and freaking stupid, crazy, freaking Rorschach. Like, oh no, we must tell the world, and freaking Nighthand vaporizes his ass. It's like,
yeah,
done. Like, what more can be done with this? Apparently, there's going to be something with Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah,
he has fucked with the timeline.
Yeah,
or somehow.
Which is kind of cool though, because you think about it. Is it in Watchmen or it might be before Watchmen? I don't know. But there's that whole thing when he talks to Ozymandias and he tells him, he's like, well, where are you going to go now? And he's like, oh, I've always been curious about creating life or something like that. There's a line. With...
Okay, see, here's the difference. I'm a reader, and you're a writer.
No, okay.
You have this innate need to create. Well, I'm like, I consume, and I'm like, all right, I have consumed the story. I enjoyed this story. It's the same thing where I was playing a Star Wars freaking D&D role-playing game where I felt like I didn't fit in because I was a person just trying to achieve the goal where everyone else was creating characters and creating their world, where I'm like, we need to get the canon, and I'm going to go get the canon, and that's my job. I'm going to go get the canon. And we're like, everyone was like, oh, my character does this and does that, does this. And I was just like,
I got a cannon.
I'm a thief. I'm going to go steal shit. I'm like, I felt I was more goal-oriented.
Yeah.
Where, like, everyone else was creation-oriented.
Yeah.
Most of them they're more creative than me. I will freely admit, I am not a creative person.
But I mean, like when they did before Watchmen, and it was all prequels, like you weren't interested like at all.
I bought like one issue and I was just like, no, I'm like, this isn't. I mean, even though they put on, because it was like what, Brian Azzarello, Darwin Cook, rest in peace, and who's the other? Straczynski.
Yeah.
Like 3 great creators, but I was like, no, I think I bought one issue of, I forgot which book it was. It might have been the
Black Pearl.
No, I bought the whatever the team book was.
Oh, the Minutemen.
The Minutemen. I think I bought an issue of that, and I was just like,
see,
it did not resonate with me to put it in fancy terms.
Because I don't know, I looked at it like you look at Watchmen, and it's like all we get about the Minutemen is we get a little backstory, and then we get that picture You know, and it's like they made a whole book out of that. Like, you know, like,
And I understand that, but I don't know. This me is just like, I guess in my brain it kind of waters everything down. It's like, okay, how can if Alan Moore chose to come back and wrote more, then I would be totally behind that. Where it's like, oh, this is from the creator's brain. This is like this is stuff that he wanted. But if the original creator, like, this is a self-contained story, it had a very definite ending.
Yeah.
It's like that's the reason why. Oh, the other book, Preacher. I freaking love Preacher. Freaking 72 issues. Done.
Yeah.
Finds God, pisses him off, ends it, sends the killers. Done and done. That's kind of like why I didn't like the TV show. I'm like watching the show. I'm like, this is.
It's not Preacher.
It's not Preacher. It's something else.
It was good, but it was not.
I couldn't get into it, like, for whatever reason.
Yeah, I was kind of in the same boat. I think I watched like the first 3 or 4, and I just kind of like lost interest in it.
I don't know where they were going.
It gets better.
They're going. I mean, because they're going alien route instead of religion route, right? That's the impression I got, where they're like, oh, we need to get away from religion.
Just because it started off that way
doesn't mean it ended that way.
It doesn't mean it ended.
Okay, well, maybe I'll give it a shot again, but I don't know. I love self-contained stuff. Like, I loved Breaking Bad because five seasons, tied everything up, no dragging it out.
Yeah, but then you love Better Call Saul. Saul.
Well, that's good.
A prequel.
It's kind of a prequel, but okay. It's still from Vince Gilligan.
Yeah, that's true.
It's still from the original creators.
True. Yeah, I get it.
That was something like where they decided to expand upon that and make a comedy instead of a drama or a dramedy.
It's still kind of
dramedy. But it's still Vince Gilligan's vision.
Yeah,
it's still Vince Gilligan running it. Not someone. If someone else was running that show, it would not be as good.
So if they told Alan Moore, I need your characters in the DC universe, and he wrote it and he did it, would you read that?
Oh, I'd read the fuck out of that.
Right, that'd be fucking great.
Oh, I'd be all over that. Just like I read freaking Tom Strong. I read Top 10. All the.
I love Tom Strong.
Oh man,
like all those Alan Moore freaking. All that Alan Moore stuff he made for Image or America's Best Comics or whatever.
Yeah, it was Walstorm.
That was Walstorm.
Yeah,
I read all that stuff because it was freaking.
Yeah.
It was that was kind of it was.
When that
it was different.
When that came out,
it was good.
Tom Strong was my favorite book. I was looking forward to that book every month or whenever it came out.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like if someone else was doing Tom Strong, it wouldn't be the same.
I own that action figure set.
Oh no!
So it's like Tom the robot, and then freaking he has the backpack.
Yeah, and then the Top 10, man, that was freaking the police procedural, but with superheroes.
Yeah,
but like to an extreme ridiculous level.
Yep.
It was freaking great.
The other one I couldn't get into was, what was it, Promethea or?
I never read that one.
Oh,
I don't know why.
I have them all, and I just couldn't get into it. It was kind of.
I think I was reading too many things at once.
It was too artsy.
Yeah.
Because who's the artist on that? It was very pretty.
It was J.G. Jones.
Because it was very pretty. I remember looking at the covers. I'm like, this book is beautiful. I'm like, well, I got no money.
Yeah.
I had just stopped Tom Strong. I'm like, I'm reading Top 10, and like, there's too many things happening. I think I'll still.
Every cover was like a Nauvoo cover, you know that.
It was very interesting, but actually, I think I'm going to take it to 905. Because we started late, I'm going to take it to 905. Fuck it. We'll go to 905 because I'm kind of enjoying this talk down memory lane.
But yeah, I don't know, man. I think maybe that's what we come to the conclusion that that's what we're doing. We're over analyzing these events, and
and it's like me. It's like and it kind of falls down to like the creator. I think we've discovered what my main issue is, or my main problem is, like, if it's not that creator's vision, if it's someone like that, these crossovers. Yeah. I think the best worst case scenario was at AVX, where you had like 5 different people writing it. Yeah. And then it was weird, like, where, like, you couldn't really, I couldn't really tell who was writing what. Or I know you had a better eye for it because you were a writer. Well, you had a better eye. If it was heavy on one character and you knew, okay, the Iron Fist stuff, that was totally Brian Michael Bendis. Yeah.
Well, that was the thing. I think they were trying to copy.
The X-Men heavy was, Jason Aaron.
Yeah, they were trying to copy what Marvel, DC did with 52.
When the kind of the jam book where everybody kind of takes a piece and brings it back.
But the difference was that, like, that's what they did. They took a piece and brought it back. Where with AVX, it was like, Bendis is writing this issue, Brubaker's writing this issue, so it didn't feel like it was the same book because it was. No,
it was very very unusual, but I like the weird. I like the singular vision. Like, I think I enjoyed. Okay, so going back to one point I said earlier, that Infinity, everything was written by Hickman.
Yeah.
all that stuff, all the way up and down. Both the Avenger books.
See, that's
and the main Infinity book. They were all written by Hickman. It was all one vision.
Yeah.
I like following a singular vision through all that.
But I kind of felt that if you weren't reading Avengers before that, it was a little.
It didn't. Oh yeah, no. Yeah. But that's the double-edged sword. Where if you weren't reading the books prior to that, you're like, who are all these weird freaking characters?
Yeah.
Why are these other who are these non-Avengers over here blowing up or talking about having to blow up planets?
Yeah.
What is going on? What is this Illuminati?
Yeah, exactly.
This is not the Illuminati they talk about on Facebook. This is a different Illuminati.
But yeah, because Marvel does now. Because remember back in the day, back in the 90s, you'd have your event, and it'd be like you have to get an issue of Spider-Man, you have to get an issue of whatever, right?
Okay, no, go on. No, I have a point I want to make about that.
But what they do now, which I don't kind of like it, but they'll tie stuff in, but instead it'll be like Civil War II Spider-Man, so it's its own miniseries.
See what they used to do back in, I think prior to maybe even you guys reading, they used to have events in the annuals.
Oh, okay.
It wouldn't be in the main book.
Yeah.
Like when they did Atlantis Attacks, which people like to make fun of. You know, it was all the annuals of that book. What was it? Well, there was another one. There was Operation Galactic Storm.
Yeah.
Or whatever. That was in all the they'd use the annuals for an event. I remember one of the last ones was an X-Men one. It was some Shatterpoint or something or other. And it was all the X-Men annuals. I remember it was weird, in those early 90s, Jim Lee era 90s, I was trying to go and find these annuals. I'm I need to find out what happens. But yeah, to kind of put a button on that, it's that's one of the many comic book discussions we're probably going to have here. Where I'm going to bitch and moan like an old man, and
because this ain't over.
God damn it! All right, so we're going to wrap this up right here. So I want to the handful of people that are still watching. There's actually also I've made a Facebook page for the show because eventually at some point, instead of broadcasting this on my Facebook page for my 476 friends, I need to make it so people, strangers, can watch and make fun of me and tell me how much I suck and all the wonderful things that happen on the internet. And then eventually I think we're going to set up a Twitch account so we can broadcast it also on Twitch. You know what? I totally forgot to talk about how much Civil War II sucks. You know what? It was not good, and I'm just going to leave it at that. So, you can follow Pete Molini at Nostalgic Comics on Twitter. You got what's your Twitter handle, Mr. Enrique?
Rock and Rule.
Rock and Rule. Hey, it's an Inception. I'm watching myself watch me. Why isn't it not moving?
I don't even know.
What the hell? That was weird.
I think it was too much for you.
Oh, it's too much for the internet to keep up with. Oh my God, it's an Inception. Ah! You can follow the show at Dre GP Podcast on Twitter. And yeah, we'll be back next week. Next week's topic, I had decided on a topic and now I can't. Oh yeah, we might be talking video games next week. We might also we might talk wrestling in regards to the Royal Rumble. I'm not sure. I might just restrict that to the live show. So there might be a show on Sunday. So Sunday night, whenever Dre broke the internet. Yeah, that's a possibility. So Sunday night, there might be a live show that'll happen spontaneously sometime in the 7 o'clock hour whenever the actual Royal Rumble match actually happens. I will probably live cast and commentate drunk in reaction to what happens in the WWE Royal Rumble. So any of you who are wrestling fans can tune in on that. Monday night, we'll be back here again. I think we might be talking video games, and because the executive producer wants me to talk about stuff that I'm passionate about, I'm going to be talking about.
But don't blow your load.
I don't want to blow my load, but we might be talking video games again next Monday. So there's a subject where I might get a little heated about. So for my co-host Pete Molini, for my guest Enrique Cruz, I am your host Dre Cervantes. That was Dre's Geek Philosophy. I'll see you next week. I love you guys. Peace.